This is Jeff Holben with Resideo, maker of Honeywell Home Brockman products. I'm going to talk to you today about a couple new products that we have available. The L1 water leak and freeze detector and the L5 whole home water shutoff valve. So let's start with the L1. So we've been selling a water leak and freeze detector, what we call the Lyric water leak and freeze detector, for about 7 years. It was a 3x3 square. It had a wet rope along with it, battery operated, and it would alert customers if any spot on this rope got wet. The alerts would come in two ways. If this was connected to Wi-Fi, it would alert you via push notification and email, and it also does a 100 decibel beep. Very loud. Most smoke detectors on average are 84 to 87 decibel. So you can imagine 100 decibel is pretty loud, which is awesome because if you got a water issue, you want to hear it so you can take care of it, okay? So we've redesigned that water leak and freeze detector, and starting today, we're shipping the L1 water leak and freeze detector. It does everything that the old Lyric water leak and freeze detector could do. Let's walk through that. So number one, battery operated. The old one took 3 batteries. Batteries lasted about 3 years. The new one only takes 2 batteries and will last about 2 years. The homeowner is going to get a clear notification, especially if this is connected to the internet. They're going to get a push and an email notification that the batteries are getting low. If the batteries get really low, like in the 2 to 4% range, the unit will start to chirp, very similar to a smoke detector, so that you know the batteries need changed even if you don't have it connected to the internet. So if you don't connect this to the internet, which is possible, you're going to get a 100 decibel beep if any spot on this rope gets wet. It doesn't have to be the whole rope. I mean, literally a puddle of water about like that. If the rope is sitting on that puddle of water, it's going to trigger this to do the 100 decibel beep. And again, if connected to the internet, it'll do a push and an email notification. The beautiful part about it being battery operated is you can put them anywhere you want in the house. I have 8 of these in my own home. I have one under every sink. My kitchen sink unit, I actually have the rope going through the hole underneath the dishwasher so that I've got the dishwasher covered as well. I have one behind my refrigerator, one at my washer dryer. I've got one at my furnace and water tank with the floor drain, and I have one at my sump pump as well. The sump pump unit, my sump pump is radon sealed, tight as a drum. I set the unit next to the sump pump on the concrete, and I took the wet rope and I dangled it down along the 1.5-inch plumbing line and strapped this to the plumbing line and have the rope going down into the sump crock and stopping just above where the water should stop when the sump pump is working correctly. So if the sump pump were to fail or not be able to keep up, obviously the water rises to the rope level. By the way, the end connectors don't do anything for the alert. The water has to hit the rope, but once it does, it again creates that 100 decibel beep and an email and push notification if connected to Wi-Fi. One thing to point out as well, if 5 feet isn't enough, you can actually buy additional ropes, and you can connect those together. It's really simple. It's kind of like speaker cord deal. And you can run up to 500 feet with ropes. These ropes are 5 foot long each. So you can cover a lot of area because we don't know where the water is going to go a lot of the time. And so you can spread the rope out a little bit to make sure that you're going to catch the water no matter where it goes so that you get an accurate alert. Now I'm going to shift gears and tell you about our whole home water shutoff. It's great to know with the L1 that you have a problem and to get an alert, but how do we stop the flow of water? So with the L1 installed in a home, again, I have 8 in my house. I have 7 of them set up to be able to shut off the whole house water supply. This is game changing. So if again the L1 gets triggered, it will automatically shut off this valve because it's a Wi-Fi capable valve. So there is a manual switch at the top. You can open and close that valve manually. It does have a wet rope with it as well. By the way, the wet rope, a 5-foot wet rope comes with each product as standard. There's also a 10-foot power cord, plugs into a normal 110 outlet, that comes with this valve as well. Now, you can extend that with an extension cord, a 25-foot extension cord max, so that you could actually be 35 feet away from the main water valve source and be able to plug it in to make sure that we've got good power for the Wi-Fi connectivity. So this is able, obviously, to be connected to Wi-Fi. Once it's connected to Wi-Fi, that's how this communicates to the valve to close it off if there's an alert triggered. If this wet rope gets wet, it will shut the valve down automatically as well. So, a couple things to ask your homeowners when you go into a house. Number one, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, do you know where your water main shutoff valve is in your home? A lot of people don't know. A lot of you plumbing guys know that already. Okay? The next question, if the answer yes, I do know where it is, would be, are you comfortable getting to it quickly and shutting it off? Because if you have a water emergency, you need to get that shut off quickly. A 1/2-inch line, for example, can spew a lot of water in seconds and do a lot of damage. So every second counts when it comes to getting it shut off. The beauty of this is that because it's Wi-Fi capable, both of these products run off of our Resideo app. Same app that we use for our thermostats, a lot of our thermostats, for example, our T6 Wi-Fi, our T10 Wi-Fi thermostats that a lot of you may use. So it's an app that homeowners may already be comfortable with, and something else that they can add on to that app. But now we're putting the whole home water shutoff right in their hand on the phone. Something happens, they just go like this on the phone, and it kills the water supply. So if you talk to your homeowner and they don't know where their water main valve shutoff is, or they do know, but it's not easy to get to, or they're not comfortable getting to it and getting it shut down quickly, we are literally, with the Wi-Fi capability of this valve, putting the on-off switch right in their hand. So all they have to do if there's a water emergency and they're at home is hit a button to turn it off. Cuts the whole house water supply, assuming that that's where you put it in. You could put it in at a water tank, for example. It does come in 1/2, 3/4 inch, and 1.25 inch sizes. So you could put it where you want to, but in my own home, I put it right after the old gate valve, above that, between the gate valve and where the water lines go up to the floor joists. So now, with that installed, I have the on-off switch on the app right in my hand. Ann and I like to travel. Occasionally we'll be gone for a night or a weekend. You know, also a couple, 3 times a year we'll go on vacation for a week or so. If we get on a plane or we're driving down the road and we want to make sure that we're going to be safe in regards to any water damage in our house, I can be driving down the road or on an airplane or reach our destination and turn the whole home water off with my phone. Key there. Anything that we can do to prevent water damage is huge when talking to the insurance companies, and also a benefit for the homeowner in regards to not having to have their whole home torn up if they have wood floors or whatever happens, drywall drops off the ceiling because of water damage. Shutting the whole house water off when you're not home for a day or a weekend or whatever is huge. Great preventative measure. Lastly, if you have different water leak detectors in the house like I do, there is a spot on the app when you hit leak detection for the L5 water leak whole home shutoff. you'll see all of your different water leak detectors. You can name them whatever you want. I have one at my sump pit. I explained that a little bit earlier. I don't want that one, if it gets triggered, to shut off the whole home water valve. So there's actually a toggle switch at each of the water leak and freeze detectors that you can toggle on, green, or off. And for example, again in my house, I have the sump pump leak detector toggled off. If the rainwater backs up in the sump pump stops working correctly, shutting the whole home water off is not going to do any good. So why do I want to trigger closing off the whole home water for that particular unit? These products are very simple, easy to install. As I said, work on our existing app. The whole home water shutoff is only sold through distribution. Robertson has them on the shelves and in stock. And the L1 water leak and freeze detector upgrade is going to start shipping in April of 2023. So Robertson should have them on the shelf in April. Lastly, I want to say thank you for your business, as always, and don't forget, this can be a one-app experience for a lot of customers because we have security products, camera products, thermostat HVAC products, in other words, and now water products that they can put on the same app. Gets rid of that app fatigue that we've all been going through here in the last couple years or so. Again, I appreciate your business. Thank you.